Unilever Ghana. Hello, hello, good morning. Time check is 9 a.m. GMT, and we're live on Hitzafrik Radio here in Ghana. You can follow us on YouTube, Hitzafrik Radio. On Facebook, it's Hitzafrik Radio. You can also log onto our website on www.modernghana.org for all our activities. I am Janny Koomson. Now let's begin with our news headlines. Now we will be looking at Kwabena Dufo Kofi Amwabin petition Parliament over revocation of their banking license. And also CD appreciates 0.6% to dollar. Bank of Ghana reveals. And Pepsodent donate to Osu Children's Home to mark Oral Health Day. Not forgetting the government 3-year bond fell short of target by 5.3% to 1.61 million mobilized. And when we go to Nigeria, Nigeria's rising debt and 8 economists impacts. These and many more we'll be bringing to you shortly. Do stay tuned.
You are listening to Ethiopia Radio.
Now the news in detail, we'll be looking at the Ghanaian local currency CD has appreciated by about 0.6% to the US dollar since the beginning of this year. The Bank of Ghana has indicated in its March 2021 summary of economic and financial data. This confirms the strong performance of the cedi since last year, which has achieved a record 3.9% depreciation to the world's most important currency. The central bank's figures put the trading value of the cedi to the dollar at 5.727 Ghana cedis. The cedi's 2020 performance made it one of the best performing currencies in sub-Saharan Africa. An impressive performance also made it the best since 2017, when it depreciated by only 4.88%. At the Forex Bureau, the rate of depreciation was even lower at 2.2%. Analysts believe the cedi benefited from a myriad of factors, including the Bank of Ghana's Forex forward auction and the diversified exports. Now, speaking with analysts, DataBank said this sets a favorable entry in 2021. The expectations are for the Ghana cedis to remain well supported in 2021 quarter of it by improved regulatory oversight, enhanced forex exchange forward allotments, and continued improvement in risk appetite of non-resident investors. Now for the euro, the cedi has appreciated by 3.5%, but declined in value by 1.3% to the British pound. Cedi forecast to end year at lower depreciation rate. Many organizations have projected a lower depreciation of the cedi to the dollar this year. For instance, DataBank Research is predicting a 6.18 Ghana cedis to the dollar and year rate in 2021. This will be 3.02% depreciation and lower than 3.9% depreciation recorded last year. The Ghana cedi appears well supported for another year of relative stability, but not without pressure points. We forecast full year 2021 depreciation rate of 3.02% to 6.18%. Is said in a 2021 economic outlet report. Now, factors that could support the Ghanaian local currency this year include the planned airborne insurance and a modest recovery in oil exports receipts without significant loss in gold revenue. Now, in 2019, historical performance of the cedi to dollar is 12.9%, and in 2018 was 8.42%, 2017 4.7%, 2016 that is 9.6%, and 2015 18.75%. Moving to another story, a former finance minister, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, and the former CEO of UT Bank have petitioned government and parliament over the Bank of Ghana board revocation of their banking license. In a statement set for discussion in the House on Monday today, March 2021, cited by Joy News, the former governor of the central bank petitioned the legislature to investigate the conduct of board in the handover. Now, Mr. Dufo also wants an inquiry into the appointment of an official administrator of Unibank Ghana Limited, as well as the circumstances surrounding the revocation of the bank's license in 2018. He is also asking Parliament to direct the restoration of the banking license of Unibank Ghana Limited by Bank of Ghana and remedying the harms done to the shareholders' property rights as a result of the conduct of the central bank. Dr. Dufo, the founder of Unibank in 1997, at a time when he was board governor, also wanted Parliament to give any other directives it deemed fit. The bank was put into administration by the board in 2019 and then consolidated with four other defunct banks during Ghana's banking crisis. At the time of its administration, the bank was led by his son, Dr. Kwabena Dufo Jr. In taking over the bank, the board cited weak supervisory standards, weak operation, and persistent liquidity shortfalls and breaches in its cash reserve requirements as reasons for taking over the bank. On his part, the former UT Bank boss, Prince Kofi Boamin, has petitioned the legislature to conduct an investigation of the conduct of the central bank and Ghana Stock Exchange for the revocation of UT Bank license and delisting the bank without due regards to the rules of administration justice guaranteed under Article 23 of the 1992 Constitution. Now that this grantor CEO or also Parliament to direct the restoration of his bank license and remedying of harms done to the shareholders' property rights as a result of the conduct of the board. Now, on a different story, Pepsodent, a Unilever Ghana brand, has donated items to Osu Children's Home to commemorate World Oral Health Day. Every March 20 is marked as World Health Day. Unilever's Pepsodent brand Brush With Me campaign is therefore designed to remind parents of their responsibilities in taking care of the oral health of themselves and their children, and also encourage families to brush better together. The Brush With Me global campaign is driven by the new research data which proves that children are 7 times more likely to skip brushing if their parents do not brush twice daily. Joel Boate, category manager for oral health Unilever Ghana, said his outfit chose to donate to the Osu Children Home because the Brush With Me campaign is not only directed to children with parents but to every child. He said we decided to donate to Osu Children's Home because the campaign is not targeted at only those with biological parents, but every child with an adult figure in their lives. They know children are here the most vulnerable and they do not want to leave them out. He pointed out the goal of the campaign is not about driving sales, but creating a cavity for wealth. He further revealed that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected their sales. in every small matters. I believe if the campaign achieved its purpose, Ghanaians would stick to the brand. COVID-19 fortunately did not affect us. The pandemic
You are
came
listening
with a
to
positive
Ethiopia
twist, he said.
Radio.
And also Janet Ahiaga, a social worker at the Osu Children's Home, expressed gratitude to Unilever for the donation. According to her, this has revealed the home of some burden and will help the kids practice more personal hygiene. Now, moving on to a different story, the government's 3-year bond insurance fell short of its target by 5.3%, auctioning results from the Bank of Ghana revealed. It, however, raised 1.61 million Ghana cedis at a favorable interest cost of 17.70%. Now, Joy Business lends the cost of debt was, however, in line with prevailing market conditions prior to the issuance of this bond. All government bonds sold to this year have been oversubscribed. It's, however, unclear whether some foreign investors are not comfortable with the current situation of the physical economy. A reason by the bond sale was slightly below target. The bond was open to both resident and non-resident investors. Absa Data Bank, Fidelity, IC Securities, Stanbic were the active joint book runners. Government successfully raised 1.77 million Ghana cedis from 5-year bond early March. The government successfully raised 1.77 million Ghana cedis from the sale of 5-year bond at a favorable cost of 18.3% at the beginning of March this year. This came after it accepted all the bids from the investors, largely donated by foreigners or non-resident investors. Also, all bids were submitted within the initial pricing guidance of 17.8% to 18.4%. However, the government capitalized on the strong demand to compress the
You are
final
listening to
clearing yield
Ethiafrik
or interest rate
Radio.
to 18.3%. Now to our foreign news.
You are listening to Ethiafrik Radio.
Nigerian external debt is considered to be the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa and has already been rescheduled several times. In spite of this rescheduling and refinancing by creditors who were either members of the Paris Club, London Club, or independent creditors, arrears of this debt kept accumulating over time. Record shows that Nigeria's external debt remained low until the middle of the 1990s. It was 1.5 million in 1970 and 2.5 million US dollars in 1975. The situation began to get out of control around 1977 when an outstanding growth rate in the country's debt began manifest. The outstanding debt reached 7.5 billion US dollars in 1979 and 8.9 million by 1980. This was due to excess borrowing from international agencies and countries at non-concessional interest rates as a result of the decline in oil earnings, the emergence of high trade arrears due to inability of the country to either produce or foot the bill of importation of needed goods and services. By 2005, the nation's debt had ballooned to about 30 million US dollar, mostly borrowed from Paris Club of Creditors. Now, Nigeria and the credit Creditors Club then went into a series of negotiations on mutually acceptable relief on 30 million debts with the Paris Club. Now to another story still on international business news. The country's Exports Promotion and Development Agency, Team Trade, has secured funding for a capacity building program on cultivation and certification of organic garlic whose demand has been soaring on the international markets. The agency's chief executive, Mr. Alan Majuru, has said. Mr. Majuru revealed this last week when he spoke to garlic farmers who convened at Zuga Primary School in Gutu district during the official launch of Gutu Central Constituency Garlic Export Program, spearheaded and financed by Member of Parliament Winston Chantando. The project is to inform by Zambia's economic development blueprint national development strategy, which seeks to widen the country's export basket and rural export earnings as the economy gears towards upper middle income status, as espoused by President Mnangagwa. The demand for garlic has been on the rise during 2 decades, with the market growing from about 500 US dollars million to 2,400 million in 2020. Zimbabwe is now positioning itself for a seat on these growing markets. Now moving to Egypt, Sudan to acknowledge AU's role, comply with DOE. Now, an expert stated that downstream countries calling for international mediation has portrayed their stance to disregard the African Union AU role and is against the agenda of African solution to African problems. Ethiopia achieved the first phase of reservoir last year and reaffirmed that it will launch second dam filling in July to come. The two downstream countries, Egypt and Sudan, with talks deadlocked, called for international mediation to get involved in a failed attempt to internationalize the matter. Sudan formally requested the African Union, the EU, and the UN and the US to mediate the stalled process over the filing and operation of Gent, spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Ambassador Dina Mutfi, said the government accepts the African Union mediation without explicitly rejecting the AU and US and the UN. Ambassador Ibrahim Idris, Transboundary Rivers advisor at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and member of Gent negotiating team, told the Ethiopian Herald that Ethiopia is working for committed to using the resource in an equitable and reasonable manner, abiding by the international rule of transboundary natural resources. Now, the call for international mediation indicates the country's AU role disregard and they want to levy an unnecessary pressure on Ethiopia so as to delay the filing of the dam. There is no legal ground that prohibits Ethiopia from achieving the second round filling, however. Ethiopia has agreed to the mediation, whereas the two countries requested Ethiopia to halt the project and negotiate on the issue. The three countries then agreed that the construction of the dam is inseparable from the filling of the dam, according to the Principle 5 of the Declaration of Principle signed in 2015. Regarding the international mediation, he said that this approach is possible if only the three countries agree on the matter according to Article 10 of DOPE, but now only Sudan and Egypt are asking for international mediation, rejecting Ethiopia's position. This runs against DOPE. The mediation must be concluded among the three countries and the auspice of AU. Experts of Transboundary Rivers and members of GENT negotiating team Dr. Bubalem Fadeke on his part said that Ethiopia is showing a good will to downstream states being the highest contributor of the Nile River. This literally begging for a deal. On the contrary, Egypt is negatively portraying the dam using different words like unilaterally Red Sea controversial and others mainly to mislead and internationalize the issue, he added. The repeated narratives of Egypt and Sudan claiming that Ethiopia unilaterally filled the dam in the rainy season of 2020 are fixtures and unfounded allegations. The call for the involvement of the quartet negotiation is merely to internationalize the issue, but they should know that diplomacy is the only way forward for all of us to create win-win situation. Late November 2020, whilst residents of the town marked the annual St. Mary of Zion festival, on the contrary, assumed residents while taking part in the feast confirmed Ethiopia Broadcasting Corporation, EBC, and other television stations that are peacefully observed the celebration. And the amnesty allegation was true. That kind of festivity and normalcy could not have happened in a macro day. And now that's all we have for you on Hits Afrik Business News with me, Janny Koomson.
You are listening to Ethiopia Radio.
Now a recap of our news headlines. CD appreciates 0.6% to dollar Bank of Ghana. And also Kwamnadu for Kofi Abuame petition parliament over revocation of their banking license. And also Pepsodent donates to Osu Children's Home to mark Oral Day. This and many more were brought to your doorstep. Don't forget, this is Hitzafrik Radio on Ghana. You can also log on to our website on www.modernghana.org. You can also follow us on Hitzafrik YouTube and on Facebook, Hitzafrik Radio. My name is Janny Koomson. See you same time.